was the mentality on the sideline and just the entire vibe in the first half, based off how ugly that was for those of us that were listening or watching on TV?
Well, I mean, you can continue to see like a more frustrated bunch than we're used to seeing. Their bar's really high, and so I guess I get it because we're all doing the same thing. Like, what's going on? So how would they not be in that kind of situation as well? So yeah, I think it's been a little tighter than recent years. We were commenting that on the pregame show the other day that I just said they were going for 3 in a row last year and didn't feel like it was as tight as it was for the first 2 games and certainly through the first half. Now, I think everybody exhaled a little bit on the first drive of the second half where you thought, okay, here you go. So the second half was much better. The locker room afterwards, I don't know if they were completely satisfied, but I think everybody was just like, just get a win, right? I think they probably all wanted it to be a little bit prettier, but I think you got to be in the camp of a win's a win, get back to that, and now face a massive game coming up on Sunday.
We can talk about Worthy here in a minute and his importance to the possibility of that win on Sunday. But Andy Reid today was asked about Jawaan Taylor and essentially said when he's not committing penalty, he's great. So, maybe one of the best pass blockers in the league, I think is the way he put it when he's doing this. At what point is the loyalty part a fault, or am I just supposed to assume they don't think Jalen Moore can play right tackle?
I kind of hearken this a little bit back to channeling a little bit of Ned Yost via Bobby Cox, where it was, if you think you're going to make a decision, wait a week, kind of that really temper. I feel like Andy Reid kind of has a lot of that in him in a football sense. Now, I don't know what the timetable is, if it's wait a week in baseball, is it different in football? But I think we've seen it before, allowing people to kind of work through, especially veterans, to work through any kind of struggles and not have any type of quick hook or hook, however speed you want to have at it. But no, it seems like he's just going to get every opportunity as long as he's blocking to their satisfaction to get the full leash. I think a lot of people would like to see different, right, from a fan standpoint, like just something different and try it out. But they're the ones in it day to day that are watching what's going on. You got to think that if one was better than the other, contract or no contract, that they would make that move. So I still think they probably believe that Jawaan Taylor is the better option at right tackle right now. And I think they'll continue to go in that direction. Kind of same with like Harrison Butker's struggles, right? I think he's going to be allowed to work his way through those types of things versus, we better go grab somebody or bring in some competition and see where it goes. I think that they have a pretty long leash when it comes to self-correction.
2 of the last 3 years that he's really struggled, Harrison Butker's numbers were down, Kling. He was hurt. He missed 3 games in each of those games. Do you think he's hurt now?
I don't think so. I feel like it's just kind of, the old golf cliche, right? I mean, it's not, he needs to be at the driving range and try to work some things out because it was, doink to the left, misses to the right. It's not been, I know we'd kind of discussed that kind of off the air amongst us as well after the game. It's kind of like the misses aren't from the same spot. If it's like one spot, you're like, okay, he's pulling the ball one direction. Well, now he seems to, is there overcorrection going on? Look, that group is always practicing. I think more so than any other team. I kind of watch other sidelines and like they're practicing a lot. The specialists during a game on the sidelines. And so they're always kind of tinkering. So I got to imagine he's kind of in the lab, probably with Dave Tobe and trying to work through it. But I got to imagine that, again, that's going to be kind of a long leash. And, he'll be better later on than he might be right now.
We're talking to Josh Klingler. He, of course, is part of the Chiefs radio network. You'll hear him, Mitch, and Dana this Sunday afternoon right here on 96.5 The Fan. On the defensive side, this is now 8 quarters in a row, Kling, where defense has looked really good. Spags yet again making these adjustments, even if they're not getting consistent pressure without blitzing. It feels like this defense came around a lot quicker than people thought after what we saw week 1. Do you feel like the defense has now showed you enough to where they're going to make sure this team's in every single game because of the system that Spags has implemented?
And it's been kind of game to game, right? So the Eagles' game plan completely different than what the Giants would have been. But, you pretty much keep the quarterback in check against Philadelphia. Saquon Barkley is not the story. And then the Giants game, obviously you had two wide receivers that had monster numbers the week before, and you basically bageled Malik Neighbors, right? And maybe Russell Wilson had a hand in that, but I like to think that the Chiefs defense did as well, kind of taking him out of the mix. And so really kind of game to game and how you've made adjustments and how you've gotten the primary weapons shut down by the opposition has been very, very impressive. Yes, you still love to see them get after the quarterback a little bit more, but I think pretty satisfying defensive performance the last 2 weeks, and it's going to have to be again. I think if there's anything you can take from that Lions game, in defending Lamar Jackson, it looks like to me that your defensive line is going to have to be relentless. And I think at times this Chiefs defensive line isn't necessarily their strength to continue to keep after things. I think they're going to have to go an extra second or two to try to get after Lamar Jackson and then try to keep him in a box. That if he's got, not a lot of avenues to score it out, and you're covering down the field, that's when he was in trouble the other night. Held on to the ball an awfully long time, and they kept him bottled up, and that's how the Lions had a ton of success against Lamar Jackson. So if they can run that similar type blueprint, they're going to have some success.
We'll wait for the injury report later today, Kling. Do you think the Chiefs need Xavier Worthy to play to win this Sunday?
I do. I think they do miss he and Rice tremendously. Now you saw a little bit last week. I was kind of curious, like the jet sweep game was kind of gone without Xavier Worthy, and they did try it last week with both Brashard Smith and with Nico Romeo.
I thought it looked okay with Smith for what it's worth. Yeah, I thought it made it work.
I feel like they threw a little bit more on his plate last week. But those feels like there's Xavier Worthy type of things that no one else really runs. And so, you don't want that thing re-injured. The worst case scenario to me with Xavier Worthy, guys, is you have some kind of brace. You said he didn't need surgery. He comes out, he gets hit or falls, and now he does need surgery. And then that's a longer process. So I got to imagine that's a little bit of the fear. You want to make sure he's fully healthy, but they did give him not only a full week, but like a no travel, you're not going week, which was kind of a surprise. So you're like, okay, just you stay back, you rehab, you get healthy, and give it a go, this week. So pretty optimistic that, you're going to see him continue to do that, but I just don't think you're going to know anything until you get hit. And, you're not going to hit him in practice just to see, hey, is that thing going to stay in place? So it's going to have to be in a game at some point.
How do you feel about the AFC West right now, where the Chargers have 3 division wins and they're 3-0?
Yeah, I mean that's tough based on the schedule. I still think the Chiefs are going to be able to reel things in, and it's going to be a close race throughout. So, but credit to them. Their schedule was kind of tough in that way because you don't want to give away division games, and they're able to kind of find their way through and get those wins. Are they the best team? I don't know. Herbert has played awfully well here to start. I don't mind them also being the front runner and the darling. Like, fine. And then kind of we'll see if the Chiefs can reel them in with a long winning streak. I still feel like this Chiefs team will kind of figure things out, get better along the way, and even if they're kind of in that. If they can win this week and get to 500, they're in that 500 through like 6 games. You just feel like there's going to be like another classic Chiefs win streak, and then everybody will be looking at them in the division again and saying, "Oh crap, they didn't go away." So I still think that's going to be similar MO than what we've seen in previous years.
Josh Klingler, we appreciate it, man. I was going to ask you. You were on the air when Mike Gundy had his famous "I'm a man, I'm 40" rant, right? Wasn't that what you were doing on the air at the time? He obviously got fired yesterday, so we were reminiscing about that. Do you think Mike Gundy's rant, like 30 years from now, will still be considered a top 5 rant of all time in sports?
Yeah, I mean, how many times did you watch it yesterday? I mean, I had like there was like a 45-second clip that was going around. I'm like, no. I need the whole thing. I need him holding up the newspaper. I need him doing that whole bit. It's like 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever it is. No, it's amazing. It's going to still go down as one of the all-timers. I think that the timing or the time was right. He wasn't going to go clearly. Yeah. So those are hard moves to make because of someone that's kind of synonymous with your program, but. I guess, losing to Tulsa at home, and there's a bunch of money in Tulsa. So there's a bunch of boosters probably that were laughing about Tulsa beating Oklahoma State. So I think that money probably spoke at the end of things and made that timing. But no, in terms of all-time rants, that's, you're talking about practice, not a game, or I'm a man, I'm 40. Like, there's few of those that are like, those are pretty much Rushmore rants. The Lee Elia Cubs one is always one of my favorites. That's an oldie but a goodie. But no, Gundy's right up there. That'll forever be the case. I had to look up. Did you guys look up yesterday too? Like, how old is he now?
He's 58, isn't he?
Yeah.
Dating myself a little.
Yeah,
58. You're like, wow. Yeah, he's
I think what stands out, Kling, is
still going strong.
Every single group chat from every person I know as people turn 40. That's the thing everybody sends you.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Like, I turned 40 last year.
Yeah.
You know how many people sent me that GIF? Yeah. Like, it's everybody. Everybody
I will never not laugh at that entire rant. I'm a man, I'm 40, and the tail end of it where he stomps off to is just so great.
Kling, we appreciate it, man.
See you guys.